Does your conversational flow feel choppy because you keep forgetting words that you think you had really put into your head, and during a conversation it all just seems to go to pot? Here's what you're going to discover today. Why cramming words and overstudying will not help you speak better French. Why visualizing and observing will make a massive difference to your instant recall in those conversations you want, and therefore your confidence as well. And how you can do this yourself so that you really can enjoy those confident conversations. So, hi, I'm Christine Cam. I'm founder of Simply French Online and creator of the Real French Method. I'll tell you more about that later, but right now we're going straight into our lesson. Before you do, just download the free 10 easy ways to learn well. It's in the description. It's in the bit.ly learn well. So here we go. About cramming. We really can only take on board so much at once. We know this. So what's new? Well, our short-term memory will develop really well when we make an effort to hold words in our head. I learned a whole exam worth of stuff and passed, and the day after I had no idea what was in there, but I passed it. What use is that? So we actually want confident conversations, we want to learn vocabulary, and we want long-term memory strengthening techniques. That's what we're after. So what we're going to look at today is observation and visualization. Now, looking at the power of observation, let's dive straight in here. Take a door. My door's just there, so if I'm looking there, it's my door. You want to learn the door, so you label it. You call it la porte or une porte. It doesn't matter which, une porte. And you say it, you repeat it, you say it, you go la porte, la porte, whatever you choose, la porte, la porte. And you think it'll stay. You walk into the next room, it's like, oh, I can't remember. It's what happens. So what I'm saying to you is look at that door. Stop, just look. Now say la porte or une porte. But picture it in your mind now. So you're taking it to another place. La porte. Go back to the door, observe some feature of the door. I'm going to take the door handle because I need it for what I'm going to learn with. So you say une porte and you're picturing the door handle. And now try and draw in your mind's eye or visualize the door and the door handle, saying la porte, or draw it with the handle. Now, it's that detail that's going to help you later with your memory and your recall. So let's take this further. Picture the door opening and closing. Here's one I've done for you. All it is opening and closing. Add the vocabulary. Ouvrir et fermer. Observe the handle and visualize yourself going to open the door and say, Je vais ouvrir la porte. Go and open it. Je vais ouvrir la porte. And then closing it. Je vais fermer la porte. Why have I chosen je vais and not just ouvrir? Well, because doing things physically will make a big difference as well. And you don't get up and say the door. You don't get up and say open the door. You actually say, oh, I'll open the door, or oh, I'll close the door. Je vais ouvrir la porte. Pick something when you're learning vocabulary that will make sense in your everyday lives. So let's build it up even more. If possible, actually do it and say it like we've just been saying. Observe a detail of the door. Mine's the handle because I'm opening and closing. And we're now going to add another detail. Mine's white, so la porte est blanche. Visualize yourself counting how many doors have this feature in your place, or whatever word you're wanting to learn, do the same idea. For me, il y a 3 portes blanches chez moi. Il y a 3 portes blanches chez moi. So now what I'm doing is I'm strengthening my memory by putting myself in a mode for communication and not just memorizing. I'm applying the vocabulary and I'm actually visualizing in my head where those 3 doors are. And in that, I've got the word porte, but it's in context. Into a conversation as the next step. Visualize yourself, for example, in a DIY shop and you're going to buy a new white door. Okay, I've pushed it a bit, but we're making it up here to show you a good example. So, apply your new learning in a mini conversation. Pardon, monsieur ou madame, whoever. Pardon, madame, je cherche une porte blanche pour ma maison, s'il vous plaît. Ah oui, madame. Allez au rayon des portes, là-bas, à gauche, là. Ah, merci. And off you go. But you've kind of visualized yourself using it where you need to in life. Maybe. Now, if you're enjoying this and you're thinking that you can use this technique, that's fine. Please share this with people you know who are struggling to learn French. Now, I know that we can only take on board so much at once, and visualization is a memory tool and one that you really do need. It's not easy for everyone to do that. People say, oh, I'm not a visual learner, I can't do this. Yes, you can. In fact, the more out of your comfort zone and the more effort you make, sometimes the more you're going to remember, because your brain's like, whoa, making an effort, it's out of the ordinary. And anyway, once you put a word in your mind, you've got to reinforce it. So Dominic O'Brien, in his book, How to Develop a Brilliant Memory, week by week, one of his techniques is visualization, and I apply it to language learning here. So reinforce it. Here's how I recap what I've just told you. Observe your new word, la porte. Pronounce it out loud, la porte. Add physical movement to the learning. Je vais ouvrir la porte, or draw the door, imagine the door. Apply your new word in a conversation. Pardon, monsieur, je cherche des portes, s'il vous plaît, des portes blanches. Put a reminder on your object to recall this, but only in note form. You've got to be able to adapt all the time. So if you put the whole conversation on the door, it's like, why would you do that to yourself? Just put la porte and then a few keywords and just try and reconstruct it as you go past if you wish. Or just la porte, je vais ouvrir la porte. So before you even get to the door, je vais ouvrir la porte. Even better, it might not be a door. I mean, I've chosen something really simple, but you could use it for the past tense. Okay, j'ai ouvert la porte. I've opened the door. Just change the tense if you wish. But visualize your word, add the movement, and it will really help. And imagine doing that. It's just the same. Put that reminder now somewhere away from the door, so it's slightly out of context and it reminds your brain, it's like, oh, I've got to pay attention to this. Another way is to touch that little reminder on passing it and pronounce it out loud. Why do you pronounce out loud? So that you say it with your French voice, not your English accent reading voice. And in your next real conversation, just try to use it. And that's what we have in our conversation classes. But before I get to that, you are welcome to ask me any questions in the Simply French Facebook. Just answer the questions to come in so I know you're not a bot. And if you want actual live conversations with us, you want to be joining us in Conversation Cafe, just go to simplyfrenchonline.com Conversation Cafe. My motto is learn it, speak it, live it. Don't overstudy. Memorizing is only the first step in gaining instant recall. Observing and visualizing will strengthen your learning and therefore help with that instant recall that you're after. May I say to you all, merci et à la prochaine. Don't forget to download that free document that will help you learn your French. Merci et au revoir.